So we have multiple
for this whole thing. Zen Rhino, Sage sent me a clip. He said, check your Twitter DMs.
Yeah, I did something super stupid. I was recording a bunch of this because I was gonna like clips and things, and then I was prepping my Sunday show while I was doing all that. Completely forgot to turn on the Roadcaster, so there's no sound in all of my clips. I'm like, wow, I'm tarded. Woo!
So you basically did a show of no show.
Oh no, I did a show based off of all the stuff I had prepped, and the thing that led me down the rabbit hole that I had messaged you about is who are these podcasts that put out a very beautiful like 35-40 minute like thing,
a Chad thing.
Yeah, and so I had taken a couple snippets of Chad's stuff out of there to talk about that, so I still had that, but I was like, ooh, and then we can follow it up with that. Oh, I'm a stupid piece of shit. Oh, that hurts.
So as you know, we got out of that whole Dabbleverse drama whack pack shit a long time ago because we kind of realized, like, look, no offense, but we're kind of better at all of you.
Started getting a little too real.
Yeah, we're better than all of you at doing a show. Like, we realized we kind of saw the game. Like, once it got to families and kids and shit like that, we were like, oh, these people are desperate and they don't have anything but this. Right. Whereas we do a whole show that when we talk about these people, we have to take an entire break from our show to go and do this. So, and I have to knock over my beer can.
One beer, man.
One beer and I'm falling
apart.
So Carl did I guess a Chad thing.
Yeah.
And you watched it and you said it was fantastic. I think I watched the same one. Was it the drunk and passing out and falling asleep?
And I used pretty much clips of Chad in that to talk about the stuff because I couldn't find the clips anywhere else. So I kind of borrowed Kevin's thing, but I repeatedly pointed out that was Kevin's. I didn't air a lot of their stuff. Just
that was pretty brutal. That was a rough one. Even Carl at the end said, like, we got to take a break from this guy.
This is just getting sad.
It's getting sad. Well, then yesterday I'm sorry, we're jumping ahead now. Late last week, he decided to start talking about Gina Levy, Bob Levy's wife.
That'll go well.
Gina Levy's daughter, who apparently has an OnlyFans, and I guess is pretty popular. And he started putting pictures out there and calling her a whore and telling Gina she's failed as a mother and all this. And I will say this. Everyone on Bob's timeline, everyone on Gina's timeline was clutching their pearls, and they were so upset, and they were so mad. And I'm like, guys, isn't this the shit that when it happened to my children, who are minors, by the way, when this happened, you guys went, it's all part of the shtick. It's all part. It's fine.
It's a radio bit. He's doing it for ratings.
Oh, he's doing a wacky bit. Bob, Kevin, Shuli. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave Kevin out of this because Kevin didn't do that. Kevin just thinks I'm gay and shitty and stupid.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with thinking Steel Toe sucks and he's gay and he likes Gino. That's totally fair.
That's half true. We hate Gino.
I'm fair game. So I said, well, I object to the family shit, so I'm going to tap out of this. Mm-hmm. If you think that's a win for you, then I tell you what, baby boy, you take your win. You be happy. You need it more than I do. You win. Everyone got mad at me for it. They're like, how can you do that? I'm like, you hate my guts. You think I'm the worst guy ever. You think my show's terrible. I'm handing you your victory. Take it. Take your W. They couldn't. They continued to melt down when it came to us. We continued to just move on and do our thing. Numbers went up. They even started making up this thing. They go, well, he's not hitting his goal. Haven't missed one the entire 2.5 years we've been on. Every week, we knock it out.
And if we don't hit the goal, we just cut my pay.
Right. We just kill Johnny. So they started.
What are you, the flu?
Instead of just taking their win, they couldn't, and they turned their W into an L while we just sat and tap danced and did our show. It was a lot of fun to watch. Well, we were also saying, while all of those people were, shitting on us and saying, oh, come on, all's fair in radio wars. And I'm like, no, I'm more of a radio guy than you guys are. In radio wars, that's not how it works. That's absolutely not. You guys are wrong. You don't know how to do this. This is all going to come back to bite you. Right now, this Chad guy is your Pitbull. He's your dog. He's a mud shark, as he calls, which is a white person who exclusively has sex with black men. But hey, Whatever, like everybody needs a gimmick, right? So the guy who exclusively has sex with black men recently started dragging Gina Levy and Bob Levy through the mud, using the OnlyFans daughter to do it, calling her a whore.
He actually put a picture of her up, too.
Put a picture of her up.
Gina's, yeah.
Put a picture of her up, called her a whore, so on and so forth. Gina even left Twitter for a while. Gina sent me a message saying, hey, you were right. So, and I actually appreciated that. And I told her, I go, look, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry this is happening to you, but I told you this was going to happen. I don't even blame Chad. I'll tell you why.
He can't help himself.
It's his name. He can't help himself. Guys, to sit there, you can't treat Chad like you treat everybody else. Because Chad's not like everybody else. He's a different kind of person. He cannot help himself. You look at how he's easily led by his chat. He's got hundreds of people at a time watching him just to watch him melt down and fall apart.
Or get drunk.
Look like an ass, get drunk, all these things. And this guy, no matter how many times, like Gino went on his show to explain it to him or tell him what he's wrong about or what he's lied about, it's met with a blank stare, and he just goes on doing his thing. So I told these guys, because Bob Levy would tell me, I'll take care of it. I've got it handled. Don't worry. I said, Bob, no offense. You don't have all this handled. You're not going to be able to control this guy. He does what he wants. And I said to Bob, I don't want this to blow back on you. And remember how much shit I got for telling Bob, I don't want this to blow back on you.
What a cunt you were.
What a piece of shit I was trying to help a pal.
They're not your friends.
These people aren't your friends, as Mersh would say. So he goes after Gina, and he goes after Gina's daughter, and he goes after Bob, saying he's going to find him and do all this shit to him. None of it surprises me. I almost don't even hold the guy responsible. I blame the Brennans and the Levys of the world who were holding the fucking leash, telling me that I was wrong while I saw the shit coming from a mile away. And if Chad's watching this, which I'm sure he is, Chad, I don't blame you. I really don't. Not only is this who you are, but you told the stepdad story, you told the sauna story, you told all these other stories. They laughed at you. They ridiculed you. They mocked you endlessly. They put you into a corner. And the minute you saw that you discovered that Bob and Kevin were using you as a whack packer and that Shuli was using you as a whack packer, you saw it and you went, you know what? I don't like these guys anymore. I'm fucking out of here. I'm going to make the money on my own. And you did. And by the way, now all these people who are mad at Chad, like Shuli's blocked him. He was going to let Chad use his producer, Joe, who producer Joe's kind of a douchey little guy anyway. You're better off without him. But he'll turn on you too. In fact, he did. He said, I can't work with you anymore because I don't like what you did to Bob. Now, wait a minute. I don't think anybody should be allowed to stop working with Chad because of what he did to Bob. Because Chad did it to me.
He did it to other people.
Chad did it to April. Chad did it to other people. And you guys didn't object then. So I'm sorry. Your moral posturing to me falls a little short. And I'm willing to talk to you about it. But again, all you had to do was listen to me. All you had to do is hear what I told you. And you would have been safe from all of it. But you wanted your whack pack. You thought, no, Chad's our whack packer. Chad's going to be good. Chad will take the money. Chad will take the attention. He's a whack packer. Chad is not a whack packer, and you cannot treat him that way. Is Jake Hudson a whack packer? Absolutely. But
he pushed a couple lines too, though.
He did, but he's almost too stupid to know he did.
Okay.
So Chad, on the other hand, is a Pitbull.
He only eats other people's kids, not mine.
Chad doesn't have the ability to put on a show. Chad doesn't have the ability to prep and do a show. He was a third mic stunt boy on an afternoon talk show. He's not a host. So all he can do is stream snipe, watch other people, and act like an asshole. Now it's your guys' turn to have him stream snipe you and act like an asshole. I told you. Again, with the I told so's, but I fucking I told so. I told you it would happen. It's happening. What do you want from me?
Well, thank God there isn't any evidence of you telling them that it happened, like a online relationship feud thing that kind of like fell apart and happened when you literally went, hey, just watch your ass.
Right. I said, guys, he's going to turn on you. And he did. And then Chad went on yesterday and he put pictures of Gina's daughter up there. Now, I will say this. I don't condone that. I think it's wrong. I don't think you should be calling her a whore. I don't think you should be bringing Bob's family in it.
I do think she looks pretty nice.
She's a beautiful girl. She really is. She's a beautiful girl.
I'm going to marry into that family.
Yeah. But to say that Gina failed as a mother and, she's Bob's fourth wife. So, I mean, he's basically just repeating the shit that he said to April and I, just with a different delivery and different side characters, if you will.
It's really sad, too, is because Chad doesn't realize she makes more money than he does. Especially since part of the money she makes is probably coming from Chad.
So, to me, I don't think that the Kevins and the Bobs of the world can look at Chad and go, well, this is all his fault. Just like, you know what? I'm even going to say, like, we made fun of Chad endlessly and how he's not talented, and we played his content, and he's not funny. He's not good at this. Chad's only recourse, because he doesn't have the ability to be funny and make fun of people, his only recourse is to get remarkably personal, go over the line, step on the line, crush the line, be wildly inappropriate, not even to the point of being funny, just a disaster. And he destroys himself while he does it. But there are a group of people on the internet who like watching a guy fall apart, and they will egg him on and root him on.
It's called Schadenfreude, isn't it?
It's Schadenfreude. Chad's entire chat is Schadenfreude. So Chad gets egged on to do all this shit. And this time the Pitbull attacked his owners. And I'm sorry, but I told you he would attack his owners. And everything he's doing is beat for beat what happened with us. The only way that you can take care of this guy is understand you have better numbers, you have an actual show, you have actual fans, you have things that he will never have. Ignore him. Let him die. Let him fester. Let him yell. Let him scream. Let him pound from the rooftops, because here's what he does. He plays his worst possible card first. He drops his nuke first. After you survive the nuke, you look around and you go, oh, you have nothing else left to threaten me with.
It's the Batman thing.
Yeah. You have nothing left to threaten me with. That's it.
You can't start with the head. Your victim gets all fuzzy. Right. They can't feel the next. See?
So Kevin, Bob, Shuli, Joe, all of you guys who have now been bitten by the mud shark, the guy who sleeps exclusively with black men. That's what mud shark means.
Hey, man, it's all good to have your type.
It's 2023. This is all fun.
I love Asian women.
So
they call me a rice patty.
He now has turned around and bitten you. You're going to have to adjust. What are you going to do? He was on yesterday. He invited Gino on, and he thought he was going to destroy Gino and own Gino.
How dumb is that?
Gino came on, told him the truth right to his face, and said, you're a liar. You're not doing this right. You have to be happier. You have to expose Bob and Kevin's lies. That's not do any of this petty horse shit. And Chad just sat there and took it.
He did a weird, credit to Gino. He did a weird thing where he'd be like propping him up, and then he would cut him down at the end of it. So he's like, look, man, you're doing great. You're happier. Things are going better for you. I'm happy for you, man. But by the way, what you did was really a piece of shit. And
you're a liar, and you need to expose those guys. So, yeah, Gino, no offense to Gino, I didn't think he had it in him to be like Machiavelli, to like play that game. And Chad's only going to hear the compliment.
Oh, yeah.
So he got to sneak that in there.
As some of the clips from, again, if I could drop that name, who are these podcasts as they were airing, it's been proven that Chad can apparently be on air while unconscious.
Yeah, so, I can't.
So, I mean, apparently it might be in one ear, out the other, because he's not even here right now.
Pretty good. Somebody said that this woman makes more money than all of it. Yeah. Oh, Gina's daughter? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people on OnlyFans make more money than we do. They have better tits than us, too. It's weird.
Yeah, Riles says she makes more than all of you put together. Yes, 100%.
And none of us have a problem with it.
Citizen M says, Aaron, you subtly threatened Bob. No, I said I hope this doesn't come back to haunt him. And then never clarified, despite repeatedly promising everyone, ask me in a month. And look what happened in just a little over a month. Citizen M, you could have set your fucking watch to it. Thank you. One for me. There you go.
I'm running out of room for tallies on this side of the board.
I really am running out of room for tallies. Pragmatic Baxter says, Chad showed old. Yeah, he did all the dirty shit. He did all of it. But like, that's your nuke. You dropped the nuke, and now you've got nothing. So,
it's a really weird first move because, again, you can't do anything after that. It has to work.
Yeah. So I wish those guys the best. Oh, and then he decided to pick a fight with Mersh, which I can tell you this about Mersh. Mersh is never going to leave you alone. Like, this is going to be an obsession now.
And you're not going to win that fight, by the way.
I mean, ROTC and Nightwave.
Yeah,
ROTC and Nightwave are, like, we're way bigger than you, and ROTC and Nightwave are way bigger than us. So, like, this is a level that you've never ventured into before. In fact, Chad should thank Mersh, because Mersh is the one who Revenge of the Sis going to Rumble is the only reason MLC has viewers, is because the people on YouTube who were listening to Revenge of the Sis and didn't jump to Rumble,
they need something
They
new.
needed something 3 to 5 Central to listen to, and it was MLC.
There's a show called Just Kidding. It's called the Game Over Podcast at Just Kidding LLC on YouTube. It's 2 to 5:30. It's the perfect time slot. Just go ahead and join it. Yeah. There you go.
Here's the clip. This is Bob and Mersh getting it from Chad. Like, again, you guys, he wears an army helmet with Mud Shark written on it, and you guys think you're going to talk sense into this guy? You think that you're going to reason with this guy? And like Bob said, I got it under control. You can't control a guy who thinks wearing an army helmet with Mud Shark written on it is cool. This is a very damaged boy.
Well, I mean, he just really wants to relive his glory days in the army, so he thought he'd wear his helmet.
Yes.
That's where he got the name. He was crawling through the dirt, and they're like, oh, you're just swimming around there like a natural mud shark, aren't you, Zumock?
That's exactly what it meant. So here's him talking about Bob and also talking about Mersh. And this one kind of almost borders on a subtle gun threat. Check it out. Although Son of Billy Wagner posted this clip, and he said, good thing Chad is lying.
Let Bob know his fucking plan backfired.
True.
I wrote my address. I said, you going to kill me, Levy? Bring it, bitch. I can't stand you, dude. Tell your cunt wife to keep my mom's name out of her cunt mouth.
I don't think that paints you as the good guy hero you were looking to be in that scenario.
You know, his cunt wife has your name in her cunt, or his mom, whoever, because you started talking about her fucking daughter, asshole. This is the same as Crowder.
Hey, just remember this parable about the scorpion. It is his nature.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Don't try to talk sense into this.
Again, it's like the Crowder thing. It's like, this wasn't a thing until you started. Hey, you keep my fucking name out your mouth. Well, then shut the fuck up, dude, because you started the conversation.
Well, here comes the gun part. Now, with Chad's record, I don't know if a gun is a legal possibility for him, but I guess we'll see.
I'm not hard to find, Mersh. I plug all my dates.
Right. He'll be in his living room through the weekend.
You go on dates?
You know exactly where I'm going to be at all times. You want to come down here? I'm buying a gun on Tuesday.
And we will look back on this moment and go, and if we had known now what we knew then, it was a cry for help.
I don't think a guy like him should have a gun in all seriousness, because I think who's going to get hurt if he gets a gun? I think him.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly.
This is a guy, I mean, we saw that stream where he was completely shit-faced.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not joking. I always tell people I shouldn't have a gun because I kind of want one. I want to protect myself. I think I shoot guns every once in a while. I enjoy it. But I'm also very well aware there's some days where it gets really, really dark, and maybe that shouldn't be sitting on the nightstand.
Right.
Just maybe.
Right.
I ain't fucking around. I'm buying a fucking gun on Tuesday.
For what? The fake people who don't attack you?
Those oil cans are going to mean business now.
If he had a sense of humor, he would shoot oil cans at target practice. That would make me think that he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, we're gonna buy a gun. That's happening.
You know what's good? When an individual says we're going to buy a gun, that doesn't denote any kind of break from normal psychiatric
Can you stop
patterns.
pointing out all the things I do? We hate it. I'm going to buy a gun. This is
I ain't
funny.
Fucking around.
I'm getting a Glock. I ain't fucking around. Nobody, like, this is the problem. Like, this has all been podcast shit. Nobody has been saying that you're like, that you need to get a gun to protect yourself. Nobody's saying that but you. Oh, our buddy win by 2 with $5. He's already shown way worse. Again, once you drop the nuke, you got nothing left. But win by 2, we know you're a big fan of the show, so I do appreciate you being here. I don't understand why you had to turn into kind of like a phony, like felt you needed to attack us. I would welcome you back into my embrace with open arms, my son, if you would just admit, I got it wrong. Steel Toe's pretty good. I'm still a fan. You can't commit the amount of time. Like, you notice you're here and I'm not there. Back into my arms, liberate yourself, be honest, apologize. And I'm a forgiving God. And I will welcome you back into my embrace as long as you prostrate yourself in front of the court.